Hey traders, Jason here from Lever Brothers. So in this video, I'm going to talk about using technical indicators to pinpoint market tops. Okay, market moves up, then it starts moving sideways, maybe chops around. It could be a consolidation pattern within an uptrend, or it could be a topping pattern. So I'm going to talk about indicators I use and how I view this situation to differentiate between a consolidation pattern and a top. All right, let's go through it. All right, so here is Chewy. All right, you can see the stock was weak March, April, May, gapped up end of May, doing fairly well. And so let's see here. So it moves up. We get a little bit of a divergence here, then across here at the time that this moves down. It's not a reason to panic or anything as long as it stays probably above a key moving average. In this case, the 21, you could certainly hold because the MACD could very easily like cycle down and then cycle back up. Okay, you can't if you're not a long-term swing trader, but if you're looking to hold for several weeks or a month, you're not going to panic just because an indicator moves down. But then things change. What happens is the stock moves down over here, goes below the 21, which is definitely a warning. The RSI breaks down here. You can see that the MACD continued to expand down. And then this is where the real tell comes between a top and a consolidation pattern. So look at this attempted bounce here. And during that time, the RSI doesn't move up much. It just simply flags sideways. The MACD cannot curl back up. It can't cross back up. So that's a warning. And then the stochastic cycles up, doesn't even get to a high, and then goes back down. So the combination of the RSI breaking support here, going below the 50, the MACD failing to cross back up, and the stochastic trending down, that is officially the end of the top. Even if you wanted to like sit back, give it every opportunity to fully play out, when those all line up, when this tries to bounce, but all those line up, that is the end of that is a tops in place, and you have to get out. And you can see what happened here. It moved from like 37, 38 all the way down to the mid 20s. Okay, then I'm not going to all fall like that, so steadily like that. But if you wanted to give it every opportunity to fully to pull back, consolidate, and move up again, to me, right here is the end of the opportunity. You gave it every opportunity, and it just couldn't happen. Okay, let's go to the next one. So here's triple Qs. I'm going to look at two different tops here just to compare them. All right, so first you have this move over here in mid-June. Okay, great move, steadily trending up, accelerates here. Then it starts coming off that high, and this is what we have. We have the RSI breaks support here. We have a negative divergence here, and then the MACD crosses. And at that time, the stochastic was already pointing down. Now, again, you don't have to panic and sell. If you wanted to, play the bigger picture, you could say, "Hey, I'm going to, let it. I'm going to put a stop in below the 21 because the 21, in my opinion, is probably the best moving average for an intermediate term like swing trader." So it comes down to the 21, bounces. That looks really good. It pretty much matches the high over here, comes down, finds support at the 21, moves up, and you can see that it moved up to a higher high. Now what happened during that time is at first, during this bounce here, the MACD kissed there and the stochastic crossed there. Okay, and the RSI wasn't exactly moving up with a whole lot of robust energy, so that could have been a sell right there. Okay, when we take out support here, when we kiss here, when we cross here, that could be a sell. But when it comes down to find support at the 21, we want to rebuy it. Okay, let me clean up the chart here. Then it starts to move up again, and you have a breakout there. With the RSI, you have the MACD crosses back up, and the stochastic is already pointing up. Okay, so you got a double touch of the 21, breaks out, and goes to a higher high. Then the process starts all over again. Are we going to top, or are we going to consolidate before we break out yet again? So we have another break of support here with the RSI. we have another turn down with the MACD, and we have the stochastic, which is pointing down. Then we have a bounce here. This bounce is very similar to this bounce. RSI bounces a little bit. We have a kiss here, just like this kiss here. We have a cross here, just like this cross here. So again, that could be a sell. Or you could say, look, I'm in this. I've been in this for 2 months. I'm going to give it every opportunity to play out. I'm putting a stop below 21. Then fast forward a few days. This is a daily chart. Stock gets trapped underneath the 21 here. Okay, and then it just continues down from there. Now, as it gets trapped under the 21, there's this, the MAC doesn't cross back up, okay, unlike over here where it did, okay. The RSI keeps falling, unlike over here where it actually put in a higher low and then moved back up, okay. So you can see the difference between how the indicators act here. Let me clean this up. How the indicators act over on the left side here, where this put in a higher low and then went up. This we got a higher low here, and then we got a cross back up here, versus over on the right side here, where the MACD, the distance between the two lines, expanded. The stochastic got stuck at a low level, and the RSI just continued to trend down. So this was a consolidation within an uptrend. This is more of a distribution pattern forming a top. All right, next up, Riot, doing really well today. All right, so stock consolidated for 3 months here, April, May, June, breaks out, rallies up from like 10, 11 bucks up to 20, so a huge winner. So then it starts topping, and at first you can say, hey, I'm going to like back off and give it every opportunity to move sideways and then break out again. But as you get more and more data, you got to start altering your opinion of what's going on based on information that is being given to you. So what we have here is this. You have RSI breaks a trend line, okay, as this thing pulls back again. You could use a loose stop and give it some time and space, although it's kind of hard when a stop runs up 100% and runs far away from some moving averages. Nevertheless, RSI breaks the trend line, then it goes below its upper line here at 70. MACD crosses down, and at the time the stochastic had already rolled over. Again, you could put in a stop somewhere in here and give it some space, because if you want to give it every opportunity to play out. Then as the stock continues to trade in here, if the stock was strong, if the stock was consolidating and getting ready to move up, then when it was trading in here, the RSI would have started to move up a little bit. The MACD would have come down and then started to curl up a little bit. The stochastic would have been able to get up to an oversold level again. But the fact that this distance here in between the two MACD lines just gets bigger and bigger, the RSI makes absolutely no attempt to move up. The stochastic moves up past its center line and then just rolls over. It tells you that this is more of a distribution pattern, not a consolidation pattern. If you put a stop in below the 21 here, orange line, then you're definitely out right there when it goes below. And even if like right here, you're like, come on, just bounce, give me a bounce. It's just not there. The MACD continues to point down and then expand. RSI is just going, or the stochastic is going down, down, down. RSI is making no attempt whatsoever to bounce. You have to get out. You just have to get out when it goes below the 21 here, and just, you got to double out of it from 10 to 20, and it's hard to cut a stock loose that treated you so well, but you just got to do it. All right, here's SOXL. All right, so what we have here is, so coming over here into mid-July, stock runs up to a new high, comes down, runs up to another new high. This could be viewed as a consolidation pattern. If I can box this in, just somewhere in here, you can say this thing is just consolidating within an uptrend, and is getting ready for the next move up. But what I see here is, unlike over here where the RSI got oversold or overbought, on this and this, we never got overbought over here and here. In fact, we put in lower highs. MACD, lower highs. Okay, then we move down, and this 50 level is important in this case because each of the previous dips, there's a dip here, there's a dip here, dip here. Each time the 50 acted as support, but now if you look closely, the RSI gets trapped underneath 50. Okay, so the MACD crosses down, RSI goes below 50 and gets trapped down there. Stochastic is moving down. So we're consolidating here, and we're consolidating here below the 21. Okay, so each of these other previous ones went below the 21 bounce, below the 21 bounce, below the 21 bounce. Each one of those bounces coincided with RSI bouncing, RSI bouncing, RSI bouncing. Everything looks good, but now we suddenly have a move below the 21. RSI is below the center line, can't get above it, and the MACD put in a negative divergence and is now trending down, and the distance between the red and the black line are expanding. So everything points right over here, everything points towards this being a distribution pattern that's going to resolve down, not a consolidation pattern that is going to resolve up. All right, one more here. Here's Peloton. All right, stock was trading in a range here. A lot of the moving averages had flattened out. So let's look at the indicators to give us an indication of what's kind of going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to zoom in on this area here where it moved up, came down, tested the 21, moved up again. And what we have here is we have the RSI is going to break a support level here. We have MACD histogram, negative divergence, and then the MACD breaks down there. We have negative divergence with the stochastic, and then it crosses down there. So we're getting a lot of sell signals right in here. So then the stock moves down, tests the 50, and moves back up. Okay. During that move back up, all that happens is the RSI comes up, and this is actually a pretty decent move, but then it immediately loses it. The MACD crosses up for 2 days, and then it loses it here. And while this is happening, stochastic, which is mostly a timing mechanism, that crosses down here. Okay, so you have a big enough move down here, which crosses all the indicators down, and then you have one more rally attempt, and during that rally attempt, it just doesn't have the energy to get the indicators back. Or I should, I'm talking in terms of the price getting the indicators back, but the indicators are telling you what's going on beneath the surface, and the indicators are telling us that this move up does not have the force, it does not have the energy, it doesn't have what it takes to continue consolidating and move up. Okay, so the indicators are telling us what's going on beneath the surface, and that message it's telling us is that this stock is going to probably resolve down, and which is what happened. You can see the RSI just trended down. There was no attempt to bounce. MACD just down. The distance between the two lines is getting bigger and bigger, and then the stochastic goes to a new level, goes to a low level, and gets stuck under there. So it's just steady. So we're given warnings over here that it's not going to bounce. Okay, so hope you got something out of this. Most of the time, pretty much all the time, like keep it simple, a couple simple indicators, don't have too strong of an opinion. Stock treated you well, doesn't matter. Okay, trust your signals, trust your indicators. Okay, everything you need to know is like right there in front of you. You don't need to go searching the internet for stuff. Keep it simple. Listen to what the market is trying to tell you and just act on that stuff, and don't hope something happens. Just trust the stuff. All right. Does it always work? No, but it works a lot more than it doesn't work, and it reduces a lot of anxiety if you can just have some sort of like mechanical system that kind of guides you along. All right, hope you got something out of this. I'll see you next time.